Hi everyone, Eileen here from the Sweet Poppy Stencils DT, and it's another inspirational day from Sweet Poppy Stencils. We usually, or try to, hold these days every month where we share projects with you, or the design team will either make a video tutorial or do a step-by-step. And we hope that you enjoy them because we enjoy making them. And this is my effort. I'm using some brand new stamps, a single snowflake circle, a single snowflake in the middle, and a couple in the stencils, and then a couple of stamps as well. Let me show you how. So I've got a couple of bits of copy paper. Just going to make sure that I'm in shot. Seems like it. And I've got some super smooth cardstock in white, and this is a 15 centimetre by 15 centimetre square, and this is my topper. Starting off with the first stencil, if I can find it, because I've laid it down somewhere. Where have you put it, Eileen? Oh, there it is, hiding. And this is the single snowflake circle, SP1402. Popping it into the middle of my card, more or less. Like that. That seems about right. I'm going to use the back of my Misty because it's magnetic and you need a magnetic sheet. Put the stencil down. Straighten it a bit, that's better. I also need low tack tape, and the best I find is from Sweet Poppy Stencils. I'm just going to protect. This is not to keep the stencil down, it's to protect the card from stray ink as I use the brush on the stencil. I don't want it ruining the frame of the card. I think that I'll get away with that. I'm using archival ink, Seafarer, and a makeup brush. I'm putting a fair amount of pressure, pressing down with my fingers on the stencil itself, and a fair amount of pressure on the head of the brush, because I want this first layer to be noticeable, very noticeable. So give me a good image. Sorry if you can hear the table squeaking. It shows you how much pressure I'm applying. I don't think I'm applying an awful lot of pressure. It just means that I need a table that doesn't squeak. Yeah, I call this my desk, but it isn't. It's one of those fold-up things, you know. It's quite substantial, but I can hear it squeaking in the background. As you can see, a little bit of ink at a time. Build up your layers slowly. Archival inks are quite a thick ink. They're not very fluid, so that should help. But you also still, with archivals, need to build up the colour a bit at a time to avoid leakage underneath and through the stencil. Right, that should do. Let's have a look. To clean your stencil, use a baby wipe. I use the water-based baby wipes, but if it's archival ink, you will need isopropyl alcohol or hand sanitizer, because they are oil-based inks. So I will clean that later. That's the first layer. Second layer is the Snowflake single, which is SP1401. Absolutely adore this, and I reckon going to use it a lot as well, just for the flower image in the middle. So this is for Christmas, and it is a snowflake, but it's cleverly designed that you will be able to use it for all manner of things. It's really pretty. So popping that down, I'm going to be guided by this here, and I'm aiming for the middle spot and moving it up a little, and hopefully that's more or less in the centre of the circle. Pop that there. Again, magnets and also tape to protect the edges. It's just these points at the edges of the design that will need the card protecting. Right, okay, I think that I'm okay there. Now I'm going to use another archival ink in blue, and this is sky blue. But first I need to clean off some of my, some of the ink from my first foray with the Seafarer. So I'm just using a dry cloth just to clean off the majority of the ink. So sticking with the same brush. And sky blue, just pop that on. Yeah, that's good. Now I'm a bit lighter now, less pressure on the stencil, less pressure on the head of the brush. I'm just kitting and stroking the surface, because I want to see the colour, but at the same time I really don't want it to be too dark, because it's just another layer and you need to see through it. Make sure we've got these tips here and these here. And this one. That should be about it. Let's have a look. Okay, it's caught a little bit with the card there again, even though I did protect it. I had ink on my fingers by the look of it. I can get rid of that with an eraser. Oh, that's nice, yes. Lovely. Okay. Now, turn the stamp press over. Before I do anything else, though, I just want to remove the ink that I've got there. I'm using a sand and rubber eraser, 510A. Lucy, a Sweet Poppy Stencils, sells these. This is Tombow Mono for ink and pencil. So one end it's for ink and it's sand, quite rough. The other end of the rubber is really soft for colouring pencils. But this will remove this ink. I've got, you might not be able to see it, but I can. I've got about 4 places where I've got ink, just a dash, a light colour of the blue. I think it may have come from the edge of the stencil where I hadn't cleaned it properly. A bit there as well. think that's it. Right, okay. So this just removes it and you brush it off. Okay, no problem there. Stamping first is this one. Now this is a cottage. This is a Stampscape stamp, but it's produced under license in polymer by Lucy and Sweet Poppy Stencils, and this is Cottage Large. Put that down more or less in the middle. Oh, it would help if I had a stamp press first. I was just wondering if you would notice. You obviously didn't. I didn't hear you shouting. Listen. Oh dear. I've been busy lately. I've been enjoying myself. Right. So start again, Eileen. I think that's about right. Oh, isn't it a devil? You get it right and then you move and your finger sort of flips the stamp. Right, okay. Using VersaFine Clear Twilight for this. The final layer of the stamp will be black, but this is another layer. It needs to be darker than the one used previously with the larger stencil, so that you'll be able to see it. But I don't want it to be too overpowering, so one stamping, one inking up. Oh, which it needs two because that didn't take well, but it's not bad. I think my ink pad might be a bit dry. All my skill at stamping has suddenly deteriorated. Yeah, bingo, got it all that time. So that can come out and I'll just wash that stamp off with water-based baby wipes or a bit of warm water and a little bit of mild soap. Next, it's the stag, and this stag again is a under license from Stampscape Stamps to Sweet Poppy, and this is called, and I've mislaid what it's called. Where are you? There it is. This is from the Critter Set 8. I think you get a few critters in that. And that's SA 138. And that's Critter Set 8. Deer Silhouette Small. So it's not a stag, it's a deer. Sorry. Pop it down there. And now with this one, darker ink still, I'm using VersaFine Clear Nocturne. Gentle tapping. Don't want to over ink this stamp. I don't want it to be solid black. It's got quite a bit of detail, and so need to be careful that that comes through, which I think I succeeded with. Thank goodness for that. Whew. Sticking with the Nocturne, final stamp is Noel, and this is from a Sweet Poppy Stencil set called, I think it's something to do with Merry and Bright. I knew it was to do with Christmas. Merry and Bright set, Noel. I'm going to pop that in there. Like so. think that could do with another inking because I want it to be really in the foreground, in the front. That will do me. Good stuff. Now, check fingers. Move on to the last little bits that I've got to do. You still awake? I'll be checking, you know. I'm asking questions later in the comments. Right. I'll run this video back and make sure that I'm in shot, which helps, I understand, when you're doing a tutorial. I'm using a blue Sharpie now just to edge it, holding it tightly down the card. You can use a ruler if you want. Just give that a bit of a border. Getting my trusty eraser again because I've got some fingerprints on this. Bit of ink here that I don't want, but this takes it off. Yeah, good stuff. Now I'm going to put some snow down, and I haven't got a mask and I can't be bothered to make one. So what I'm going to do is I've got the cottage and I'm using water-based baby wipes. And I'm going to cover the cottage with a clean stamp, all right? Doesn't have to be precise, but I don't want too much snow going on and spoiling the image. White Posca paint pen. Get the flow going. And then a ruler. Yeah, that's good. And just put some snow around. You might not be picking this up too much on the camera, but I can see it working quite well on the card. So you'll just have to take my word for it. That'll do. Wipe the stamp off again. Got a mark there. You can go. Be careful with the paint. That's got to dry now. And then the final thing that I'm going to do is to take some white enamel accents from Ranger. I think Lucy sells these also. They come in black and white. Used to be all colours years ago. And obviously I had them all. Of course you have to, don't you? But I think they only do the black and white now, which is a shame. They had loads of different colours. So in the middle of my circle, single snowflake circle image, just going to pop down a blob of my enamel accents. Right. I'm done. Now that isn't dry. Oh, thought I'd ruined it then, but I haven't. That isn't dry. However, oh, the one that I've made earlier is okay to share with you. Here it is. And the back card, the base card, is 18 by 18. I will just check. Yeah. 18 centimetres by 18 centimetres for the base card. And all I did was just layer the 15 by 15 centimetre topper in the middle. So you get the picture. So that's one I made earlier. This is the one that I've just created, and I like this better because the cottage isn't quite as dark, so you can see more of it in through the layers. I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed myself, and I hope that you're enjoying the rest of your day, or you'll enjoy all the other video tutorials and step-by-steps now to come after me. Right, thanks very much for watching. See you next time. Bye for now.